She doesn't see you, not as you are. She sees a vision, a potential, and for a moment you believe it too. But what if that gaze isn't admiration? What if it's projection? Carl Jung warned us about women, about illusions, and about the danger of becoming someone else's unfinished masterpiece. This isn't just psychology, it's survival. Every journey begins in a familiar manner. She gazes upon you, not in the light of your current self, but through the lens of your potential and the person you could evolve into. One can sense it in her gaze, can't one? The glimmer of possibility. Or is it a longing for something more? You may believe you are visible, yet you remain unnoticed. Your worth is being assessed, evaluated, scanned like an untouched canvas, poised for her to create her ultimate work of art. Yet, the true work of art lies beyond you. It was never meant to be. And Carl Jung cautioned you, not with the gentle reassurances of a cheerleader. Negative. With the keen, deliberate focus of one who has dedicated his existence to exploring the depths of the human psyche, Jung dedicated his entire existence to exploring the depths of what he termed the unconscious. The aspect of the human mind that functions quietly, beyond your conscious recognition. And he uncovered a profound truth about women. He realized that their affections extend beyond mere attraction to men. They become enamored with the concept of masculinity, embrace the imagination, with the foresight, and the most daunting aspect. Many remain unaware of their actions. It may appear that she is selecting you. What she is truly selecting is the image of you that exists in her imagination, a mere instrument in the narrative of her own existence. When you cease to conform to the expected role, she will replace the performer. Focus on the lesson, not the narrative. Jung referred to this projection as the animus, the inner strength that resides within every woman. When that inner drive is immature, undeveloped, or left unchecked, it transforms into a tyrant. It acts as the hidden influence that drives women to pursue perilous men while turning away from those who are genuinely good. It leads them to engage in disputes devoid of logic, to assert control lacking insight, and to preach without taking responsibility. Jung presented this with unflinching honesty. He characterized it as a profound spiritual influence, a condition in which a woman may lose sight of her own awareness, instead operating under the influence of an elusive, inner masculine ideal. And what of men? You are deceived by it because you were never shown how to recognize it. You mistake the longing for your presence with the depth of true understanding. You confuse the act of selection with the depth of comprehension. You accept her claims of your uniqueness, yet the truth is, you are merely the newest character in a script she has been perfecting since her youth. When the illusion shatters and the facade falls away, you find yourself in a state of confusion, feeling betrayed and humiliated, questioning your own actions. However, you acted with integrity. You have ceased to perform in a role that was not your own. Jung cautioned that the sole path to escape this psychological theater lies in what he termed individuation, a lifelong journey toward achieving inner wholeness. And here lies the unvarnished reality. Many individuals fail to embark on that path. You have been conditioned to pursue external validation, to seek approval, and to allow others to determine your value. As long as you continue down this path, you will find yourself trapped in a repetitive cycle, being cast aside whenever the interest wanes. Individuation lacks the allure often associated with it. It is harsh. It demands that you face the aspects of yourself that you've hidden away, the vulnerable, the uncertain, the fractured. It requires you to cease placing blame on women for their lack of recognition, and instead turn your focus inward to truly understand yourself. Because this is the insight that many fail to grasp. True manhood is not a matter of being selected. It is forged through one's own actions and choices. One attains manhood through the act of self-selection. Your value is not determined by her feelings towards you. You achieve it by standing firm, completely aware, wholly accountable, and vibrantly engaged in life. A person who has confronted their own inner self cannot be swayed by external illusions. He has liberated himself from the strings of another's illusion. He shapes the narrative of his existence. Jung noted that the most profound tragedy of contemporary individuals lies not in their rejection, but in their readiness to conform to any form they think will gain acceptance. You refer to it as compromise. You label it partnership. You define it as love. However, Jung referred to it by another name, deceiving oneself. He cautioned that those who neglect their inner growth risk becoming subservient to external expectations, molding themselves like pliable material to fit the demands of others who may not even grasp their own authentic wants. You cease to be authentic individuals and begin to don facades, maintaining composure, acknowledging, accepting, executing, until you lose sight of your true self before donning the facade. What about women? They perceive this. Indeed, their awareness surpasses what you might think. The qualities you believe will earn her affection, obedience, predictability, availability, may ultimately be the factors that diminish her attraction. What is the reason behind this? Because the feminine instinct, as taught by Jung, is not inclined towards comfort. It is captivated by the unknown, by the challenge, by the individual who eludes complete understanding or mastery. When you reveal yourself completely, lacking boundaries and strength, you do not increase your appeal. You fade into the background, rendered insignificant, easily overlooked. And yet, here lies the contradiction that binds many individuals in chains. Your fear of solitude outweighs your fear of inauthenticity. It is preferable to sacrifice your own being than to let her go. It is preferable to inhabit a character than to confront the daunting reality of existing without validation. Yet, Jung emphasized that true freedom can only be attained when one fully accepts solitude. He expressed that individuation is a journey not suited for the weak, as it demands a metaphorical death before the actual one, urging you to let go of the false versions of yourself so that something authentic can ultimately arise. However, allow me to share a truth that often goes unspoken. Individuation can feel isolating, profoundly isolating. As you traverse that journey, you start to perceive truths that are irrevocable. You start to see through the facades people maintain, the roles they adopt, the self-deceptions they cling to for a sense of security. And when you attempt to convey your insights, they ridicule you. They perceive you as distant, proud, overly solemn. They lay the blame at your feet. Yet you are not the source of the issue. You reflect the truth. Many individuals despise the reflection when it reveals truths they are unwilling to confront. Jung understood this deeply. He dedicated years to observing individuals who were paralyzed by fear when faced with their own darkness, the neglected aspects of their psyche they chose to ignore. And women, as Jung cautioned, frequently grow up in environments that encourage them to sidestep confrontation. They are reminded of their inherent purity, emotional depth, intuition, and wholeness in their current state. However, Jung remained unconvinced. He articulated that the most significant threat to women lies in their unrecognized animus, the internal voice that communicates with misleading confidence, spurious authority, and an illusory sense of moral superiority. He cautioned that if a woman does not confront and assimilate this inner masculine energy, she risks becoming a captive to it, projecting her struggles onto every man she encounters, holding them accountable for the very conflict she avoids within herself. And here you stand, believing yourself to be her rescuer, convinced that you will be the one who breaks the mold, thinking that if you just love her fiercely, demonstrate your worth emphatically, and excel in every way, she will ultimately select you for who you truly are. However, that is not the correct understanding of how projection operates. Jung conveyed that projection is a deceptive force. It takes away the essence of reality and substitutes it with mere illusion. Until both men and women awaken from that illusion, they are fated to repeat the same tragedy, time and again, each casting blame upon the other, oblivious to the fact that they are both entangled in the same shadows. Herein lies the most ironic twist of all. The woman who once regarded you as her champion may eventually view you as her adversary, not due to any transformation on your part, but because you did not meet the ideal she envisioned for you, and she will remain unaware of her actions. Jung described this psychological betrayal as unavoidable when both individuals neglect to take ownership of their own inner realities. You remained truthful with her. You remained true to her. You have merely let down the intangible figure she conjured within her subconscious. You were never that person from the start. That is the reason for her resentment towards you. Not for your imperfections, but for not embodying the ideals she never communicated you were meant to fulfill. Jung once remarked that individuals will go to great lengths, no matter how irrational, to evade confronting their own inner selves. This principle holds particularly true in the realm of romantic relationships. Individuals step into relationships not as complete beings, but as reflections of their unaddressed fears, unfulfilled desires, and lingering childhood traumas, seeking solace in the embrace of another whom they scarcely comprehend. You refer to it as love. Jung referred to it as possession. Like someone entranced, you continue to step into the snare, believing that this time the outcome will change. However, it remains elusive, as you have yet to confront the most daunting question one can pose to oneself. What if I am the one accountable for this pattern? You seek to assign blame to women. It is easy to label them as cunning, misleading, or superficial. Yet Jung would meet your gaze and inquire, what led you to allow yourself to be chosen by that woman in the beginning? Understand this. A man who shuns the exploration of his own inner feminine essence is bound to be subservient to its influence. You hold the power to shape your own reality. Your role is that of a volunteer. You have decided to embrace folly. You have taken on the role in her personal narrative. Confronting your own void, your own incompleteness, is undoubtedly more daunting than merely participating in another's illusion. And this is the point where many will choose to disengage, for it is here that comfort fades and accountability takes its place. Jung did not provide superficial answers. He did not provide you with a simple formula for achieving alpha male status. He assigned you the challenging, enduring journey of self-reflection, of being alone in the quiet of your own thoughts, until the facades begin to shatter, until the inner dialogue that insists you are incomplete without her starts to fade away. And understand this clearly, that voice will strive to endure. It may suggest that you rely on her, that your wholeness is tied to her presence, and that no man can thrive without the approval of the feminine. Yet, Jung's work hints at a deeper, more perilous truth. It conveys that the individual who can endure without her, without validation, without recognition, without dependence, is the individual who has truly attained freedom, unburdened by expectations, unshackled from the need to impress, liberated from the constraints of conforming to another's vision of masculinity. Upon arriving at that state, you do not turn cold or detached. Instead, you become authentic, anchored, and fully present in your own being. It is in that moment, ironically, that women will find themselves most attracted to you, not due to your need for them, but rather your lack of it. And you will smile, not out of indifference, but because you have come to a profound understanding. Recognize that she is navigating her own path, confronting her own inner struggles, and awakening from her own misconceptions. And that work is not yours to do for her. She must confront her own struggles. Your path is limited to the actions taken by Jung. Walk your path with unwavering courage, becoming a mirror that reflects truth to all who are willing to see. Many will choose to look the other way. Yet, there will be a select few, a truly rare handful, who will express their gratitude for your efforts. That, my friend, illustrates the distinction between being cherished for the part you perform and being honored for the individual you have evolved into. In that moment of clarity, when the weight of expectation lifts and you understand that performance is unnecessary, a peculiar awareness will begin to unfold. Observe the discomfort that arises in others when they are in your presence. They will perceive it, even if they cannot articulate it. Your presence will disturb them, as you no longer conform to the familiar categories they rely on for comfort. Jung cautioned that the self-realized individual often faces rejection from society. He is regarded with apprehension, often misinterpreted, and tagged as aloof or haughty. Yet, the reality is much more daunting. You have reached a state of being that is impervious to external influences, unyielding to temptation, and immune to manipulation, because you perceive the underlying truths of the situation. And this is where it becomes amusing. The individuals who once sought your focus, your affirmation, your endorsement, will start to harbor resentment towards you for no longer relying on their approval. Women, particularly those who cling to the illusion of the ideal partner, may label you as emotionally distant. They may claim you overthink, that you analyze too deeply, or that you seem detached. What they truly signify is that your autonomy has surpassed their influence. You have left the spotlight, no longer reciting their lines. Without that guidance, they are at a loss regarding how to engage with you, because you have ceased to play a role and begun to embody true strength. Jung once remarked that the deities have transformed into ailments, suggesting that what ancient civilizations referred to as divine possession is now understood in modern psychology as neurosis. Let there be no illusion. Those who seek validation from others are among the most spiritually unwell. You may believe that expressing sentiments like, "I'd do anything for her," or "she's my everything," is a display of romance. Yet Jung would likely respond with a knowing shake of his head, suggesting that what you perceive as love is, in truth, a denial of your own soul's responsibility. It is simpler to place your expectations onto another and designate them as the vessel for your aspirations, significance, and direction. For if she bears the burden, it need not weigh upon you. However, there is a harsh reality to confront. Upon the moment of understanding that she was never meant to bear your essence, she will release it. She needs to let it go, because no woman, no matter how caring, can bear the burden of a man who will not take responsibility for himself. When she lets it go, a sense of betrayal will wash over you. However, it would be unwise to do so. It would be wise to express your gratitude to her. In that instant, when the facade shatters, you confront the reality directly. The journey of becoming a man was never her responsibility to undertake. It has always belonged to you. In that moment of unfiltered insight, you face a pivotal decision. it is easy to assign blame to her. One may find themselves harboring bitterness. One can easily fall into the trap of joining the discontented crowd, casting blame and scorn upon women, all the while avoiding the deeper truths of their own existence and the void within. Alternatively, you might consider embracing what Jung would have urged you to pursue. Look within yourself. Embrace the solitary, daunting, yet freeing journey of self-discovery, of achieving completeness within oneself, independent of others for fulfillment. The reality is, the woman you seek in the world is merely a mirror of the aspects of yourself that you have neglected. Until you confront that aspect, every relationship will be a mere act, every connection a business deal, every expression of love a deception. When you confront it, when you embrace your own anima, your inner feminine, you transform into a man who no longer feels the need to pursue women. Do not pursue them. You do not seek to control them. Your actions are not for their approval. You remain steadfast, deeply grounded in your true self. From that point, a remarkable transformation occurs. You have ceased to draw in women who seek genuine character. You draw in women who seek honesty. You'll recognize the moment, as she will not insist on your performance. She will not attempt to alter your narrative. She will not be swayed by an illusion of who you might be. She will present herself authentically, not as a deity seeking adoration, but as a fellow traveler ready to share the journey with you, embrace reality, shed illusions, and confront the truth directly. When you encounter her, the authentic version, not the idealized image, the distinction will be evident immediately. She will not overwhelm you with extravagant statements. She will not regard you as the essential element in her life's design. She will not entice you with the allure of finality, because she seeks to be whole within herself. She seeks no rescue. She has put in the effort. She has confronted her own darkness. She has faced her inner conflict. She has dismantled her own illusions. And that is precisely why she will not require you to put on a show. She is capable of bearing her own soul. She will be present, complete in her being, meeting your gaze with clarity, not as someone seeking to shape you, but as someone prepared to truly encounter you. In that meeting, one remains composed and untroubled. One must not hold on. Performance is an illusion. Only the truth exists. That truth, as Jung imparted, represents the rarest and most perilous form of love. One that asks for nothing yet gives everything. It arises not from necessity. It emerges from liberation. The power of choice. Embrace the power to detach. Embrace the strength to unite in authenticity, shedding all pretense and fear. However, I must caution you. Many of you may never encounter this reality. Many of you will give up before reaching your destination. You will accept the outcome with composure. You will accept the illusion. You will choose the fleeting excitement of presenting a facade rather than embracing your true self. Confronting your true self can often seem overwhelming. Yet, if you possess the unwavering resolve, the raw and unyielding strength to continue moving forward, to remain steadfast in solitude, to peel away every deceptive facade you've constructed for validation, you will ultimately discover yourself at the brink of something profoundly beautiful, albeit daunting. One will discover their true self, and when you achieve this, women will cease to define your sense of self. They will cease to be the reflection through which you derive your sense of manhood. They will transform into something wholly different. Allies, not trophies. Reflect, do not rely. Companions, not rescuers. And you will appreciate them, not out of necessity, but by your own deliberate choice, from a position of resilience, from a state of completeness, from a foundation that understands, without hesitation, your true self. Carl Jung did not provide a guide for you to adhere to. A caution was bestowed upon you. A caution that any individual who avoids self-reflection will inevitably become a prisoner to the perceptions of those around him, particularly the forecast concerning women. Yet he also presented you with a challenge, a call to embrace the journey of self-discovery. Cease the tendency to assign blame to women for the choices you willingly embrace. Cease the pursuit of completeness through the perception of others. To cease the expectation of being selected. The individual who embraces his true self, without hesitation or regret, is the one who remains unbound by illusions. He remains unmoved by the allure of performance. He is not merely a pawn in another's narrative. He takes the reins of his own existence. If you've reached this point and sensed a resonance within, take a moment to pause and reflect, rather than simply moving on. Do not allow this to become just another fleeting moment in your life. Pause for a moment to appreciate this video, share it with a fellow man who could benefit from the insights, and consider subscribing for further wisdom. Your support extends beyond our own needs. It's for the individual who remains trapped in a false reality, yearning for liberation. Assist us in sharing this message. Assist us in enlightening the world, one individual at a time. If you are prepared to delve further into this journey, consider the link in the description and become part of the movement. Now is the moment to awaken.